Folks, Andrew Tate is having an awful time in jail. He's apparently in squalid conditions. He is apparently surrounded by brown liquid. And I'm gassed. I'm excited. I'm so happy to hear that Andrew Tate is suffering, to be honest with you guys. Because this guy is a clown. He is an R-word. He is a diabolical human trafficker. And he's rubbed it in everybody's faces for years. He's admitted to crimes. He said, I'm a pimp. Pimping's illegal in England, buddy. And if you want to fly girls in from other countries that are minors to pimp them, you might be a human trafficker in the PDF word. But anyway, let's go through all of Tate's recent updates that he's put on his X account, right? I'm very suspicious of these. I'm not sure how many of these are real. But what I do know is that basically he's going through absolutely horrendous conditions, even if this is all made up. Let's see what he's at least had put out. So this was the first reveal when he let everybody know that he was apparently being held in the shoe. Now, this might not be true, but he said, I'm being held in the shoe, the highest level of security which exists. No commissary, no visits, no contact with the outside world. My neighbor is a cannibal who screams throughout the night. All right. And he went on to say posting on, sorry, my bad. The community note went on to say posting on social media is contact with the outside world. It basically called cap on this situation. Now, I do think that this might just be a lie, but okay, I'm not 100% sure. Maybe he's phoning his, his low budget lawyer, and letting him know over the phone what he should be tweeting for him. Maybe that's what he's actually paying him for, because he's definitely not paying him for the courtroom appearances and press conferences. I think he said something like they didn't do nothing, right? They didn't do nothing. Awful lawyer. But anyway, here's where he went from here. We didn't hear from him for a little while, and then he updated. I said, day 6 in the SHU special housing unit. This is punitive housing for people who murder their cellmates. No commissary, no phone calls, no yard time. The worst possible conditions the US government provides to terrorists and psychopaths. I am innocent until proven guilty, extradition detainee. I'm wanted by a foreign state. I'm an American citizen. Why am I here? And community note once again corrected him. They said special housing units in federal prisons are used for administrative detention, including for pretrial and extradition detainees, protective custody and disciplinary segregation, not solely as punishment for inmates who murder cellmates or terrorists. He may well be in protective custody, maybe because he's scared, or maybe because he's too famous to be with the Gen Pop. Anyway, day 7 in the SHU. All right, same thing, exactly the same tweet. All right, I guess he couldn't, get any any messages to the outside world on this one. All right, so that was that. All right, he followed that up. He said of the 7 days I've been in the SHU, the special housing unit, I've been allowed my daily 1-hour exercise only twice. For 5 of the days, I remain in my cell for 24 hours, ignored fully, never even seeing a guard. Isn't this illegal? Isn't my 1 hour of yard enforced by law? Where are my rights? All right. So when you had all them girls in the house and doing webcam studio, right, and you weren't let them leave, and you were choking them unconscious, not letting them leave, taking their passports, lying to them about their taxes and their money, and stealing and taking all their money from them, choking them unconscious, not letting them leave, all that kind of stuff. Okay, wrecking the place, tearing up the place if they so dared to try and get their own earnings from the platforms that you had them pimped out on digitally. That was probably worse than what you're going through, so I wouldn't worry about it, chum. So he went on to say, in the special housing unit, my neighbor is picking paint off the wall and eating it. I am reading All Quiet on the Western Front by the slitter of a street lamp that enters my cell. The duality of man. Now, I'm almost certain this is made up. I'm almost certain this is cap, lie, nonsense. But the idea that he's reading All Quiet on the Western Front by a slitter of a street lamp that enters his cell, I doubt any of this is true. Whoever's managing his Twitter right now is definitely got a creative mind. But this is just absolute ridiculousness. So he goes on to say, day 8 in the SHU special housing unit. This is by the way, he's getting no yard time, but he's managing to tweet numerous times every day. Day 8 in the SHU. This is punitive housing for people who murder their cellmates. No commissary. Same thing he said before. Same shit he said before. Day 8, right? And I'm going to break down some of these messages that are going around later on. Let me save this one for later. Let me save this one. Someone said, day 8 of crying like a bitch. You're projecting beta male vibes. Sack it up and take it like a effing man. I agree. All right. So he went on now. He gave a little bit more detail. He said, I'm in the special housing unit for big special boys. And he said, my water faucet is broken. I'm not allowed bottles of water in the SHU. I have nothing clean to drink. My only water comes from the shower, warm. Warm and from a brown and filthy faucet. It's given me persistent stomach problems. So he's in there with diarrhea drinking brown mud water from a shower, drinking that shower water. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. I don't think they've got any sparkling water in that. It says, the water I'm drinking is not clean. I am an American. All right. Tell that to Flint, Michigan. Tell that to half of Detroit that had no clean water for a bit. All right. You fucking around and finding out what America's all about. All right. It ain't all top 1% lifestyle, Wall Street living, Beverly Hills. All right. You a real American now. All right. You're American in the justice system. He said, innocent until proven guilty, but I'm forced to drink poisoned water. Where are my rights? You sound like an incel. That is an absolutely diabolical comment. So I'm saying the guy who spent years telling men to stop complaining and be a man is out here writing full essays about dirty shower water and his stomach problem. Crazy, all right? So when I said, there's no question of my innocence. Apparently there's no question, especially amongst the British public who have lost all faith in their judicial system and sent me thousands of letters. Thousands of letters, yeah? So there's no question the UK hates me and that there's a political persecution. As the Prime Minister Keir Starmer himself has said, this is personal. He's not the Prime Minister anymore, you dummy. The only questions that remain are, one, is why is an American citizen in an American maximum security prison on the behest of a hostile foreign state? And two, after Assange and Trump, both of which suffered the same, why are ancient Me Too allegations so against politically influential people taken seriously, especially when they only appear once convenient? Three, will the American government betray an American citizen? How did this happen? Did this happen? No, but no in yellow. Right? Zero accountability. You whine and play the victim like the dipshit in the Oval Office. There is no matrix that's after a washed-up kickboxer. Stop tweeting like a 15-year-old incel and start owning your actions. You've made poor choices your entire life and now you want sympathy. He's tweeting like a 15-year-old virgin, but apparently that's him and his brother's type. Anyway, all right, people are saying it's hilarious seeing Andrew Tate can run back the same psyop that he pulled in Romania 3 years ago, crying about his prison conditions and pretending to be persecuted. By the way, in Romania, the Tate brothers were housed in newly renovated facilities, served steak sourced from outside restaurants, and had LCD TVs, even requested a PlayStation. So this is what he's saying now about being in the shoe in USA. This is what he was saying in Romania. My food comes at 8 a.m., noon and 5 p.m. I have a plastic bag I use to try and protect the food from insects. I spend my entire day destroying the flies and ants who get close to the meal. In accordance with Ramadan, when the sun goes down, I eat the stone-cold food in the cell by myself. This was on the 23rd of March, 2024, right? Wicked Games. Shameless Andrew and Tristan Tate demanded a PlayStation in jail, but God says prisoners don't play. They play. They pray. All right? So it's pretty crazy. It's pretty shameless what he's doing. So there's some pretty interesting quotables that I've seen. This wasn't what I thought it was. Hang on a sec. Wait. So this was Tristan's take. This is Tristan. Tristan's been a lot less active on X, but he's still finding the time in between his two rec hours to actually throw up a little tweet for everybody. He said the men and women of the he's sucking up. He's scared. The men and women of the Florida Department of Corrections are some of America's finest. We see our firefighters, military, and police act on the streets during normal day-to-day life, but behind closed doors, these corrections officers deal with an evil that cannot be leaked into civilized society. Should this place be housing me as a political prisoner of the failing British state? No. But the silver lining is that it's been a pleasure to see their brave men and women at work. May God bless these American heroes. He said, please, can I get some of that rec time, gang? I'm a political prisoner, but please, can I get some rec time? You said they were starving you a minute. You was drinking brown shower water, but now you bigging them up. You loving them. All right? So I think Tristan is shitting his pants, and I think the reason why is because this is what Tristan looked like last time he spent one night in a Romanian jail cell. This was him last time he had to deal with jail, all right? He was frazzled. Look at him.
It's designed to come up with the most heinous possible crimes to slander our name. And every single Romanian citizen should be disgusted that they are spending millions of euros wasting their time trying to put innocent men in jail instead of fixing the roads, fixing the hospitals, fixing this country. You have a beautiful country full of beautiful people, and three idiots at DCOP have fucked everything. As for money laundering, sure, I'll approach that. Money laundering, no problem. Supposedly we're money launderers because we buy luxury goods and we try and hide that we buy luxury goods for other people.
He's looking at his brother having a meltdown because that was one of the Andrew Tate's most rattled moments in this whole debacle. He's looking at his brother having that meltdown thinking, this guy might not have a fucking plan. This clown might not actually have the He might not have the unmatched perspicacity that I thought he had. I think his perspicacity might have been matched by the prosecutors in DCOT. And if he's thinking they've matched his perspicacity, I think the American federal extradition procedure, I think, is about to out-perspicacity him all the way to Broadmoor, all right, in the UK. Some of the most, Pentonville, I don't know, some of the worst UK prisons. Look at him. Thinking, what the fuck have I gotten myself in? Big bro ain't really got a plan. He's looking at him saying, this is him rattled. I've never seen him do this before. I've never seen him like this. He can't talk his way out of this one. It's a fucking mess, all right? It's an absolute mess. So he's sucking up. So on top of that, right, people are calling him out for faking this. Now, all this shit is obviously fake, right? But him saying he's had thousands of letters. They said, Andrew Tate's received thousands of letters, laughing face. Andrew, bit of advice, mate. When you're making stuff up, try and remember it's not 1997. Don't forget, send your letters to Andrew Tate, Federal Detention Center, Miami, USA, and you'll need 2 first-class stamps. It is nonsense, okay? They're saying Royal Mail dedicated an entire task force to getting these letters to America within 7 days, all right? It's nonsense. So basically, this is kind of the last thing that I'll leave you with. I'm just going to do a couple of short updates on this. I've got like 4 other Tate updates. I might not have time to do it by the end of today, but I want to keep you guys updated on this. But basically, he is running a full-blown propaganda campaign at the moment, and I think it might be ready to backfire. Okay, I think it might be ready to backfire. So saying Joseph McBride and the Tates should think carefully before continuing to make disputed or potentially false claims on social media. If prosecutors are monitoring their public statements for potential witness intimidation, victim harassment, or other conduct relevant to the case, posts that misrepresent the facts or attack alleged victims are unlikely to help their defense. Claiming to have communication privileges they may not have, misrepresenting the status of ongoing cases or investigations, or publicly calling alleged victims liars or non-existent while criminal proceedings are active creates unnecessary risk. Following Friday's hearing, where prosecutors referenced multiple alleged victims, that kind of rhetoric seems especially unwise. This is an extradition proceeding, not a political campaign. The courtroom, not social media, is where the legal arguments matter. If the court concludes that public statements are interfering with the judicial process, it could consider remedies like limiting public disclosures, or, where legally justified, imposing restrictions on participants' public comments. The best strategy is to litigate the facts in court, not on X. This is going to backfire, all right? This was a very, 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 very bad idea, okay? Very bad idea. So look, clearly Andrew and Tristan are having a nightmare time in jail. I do think that a lot of these tweets that are coming out are either lies or definitely embellished, but I do think this might come back and bite them. Clearly they're not having a good time because they're not taking it on the chin like they're alpha males that they're supposed to be, right? They're flailing, they're screaming, they're crying, they're complaining about the dirty water and making up a whole bunch of lies. And I think that this is proof that the downfall of Andrew and Tristan Tate is in full effect. They're not going to be able to weasel their way out of this. Trump administration don't want nothing to do with them, and I'm going to do another video about how apparently Baron Trump is actually in trouble because of his relationship with the Tates, and that is being called into question. So even Baron Trump, he don't want nothing to do with these people. Don Jr., all these, they don't want nothing to do with him. Eric Trump, nobody wants nothing to do with this fucking guy. He's toxic. He's the new Epstein, but he's alive. They might want to give him the old Jeffrey special while he's in the FCI Miami, because at the end of the day, he is a big problem, all right? But realistically, I think he's probably going to get sent back to the UK. He's probably going to get absolutely cooked. The UK authorities are pissed that he has ducked them for so many years. The evidence sounds insurmountable, and I think he will get cooked and probably end up getting like 10 to 20 years in a UK prison, and then he'll probably get extradited to Romania, hit with the Uno reverse card, and I'm not even going to be surprised if they maybe throw some American charges on him, because I heard there was a story where an American woman ended up in Romania. I don't know fully, but I'll get back to you when I got the details on that. But this is crazy, all right? He's getting absolutely cooked. Wipe the smiles off both of their stupid little faces, and I'm all here for it because I think these guys are clowns. I think they're abusers. I think they are PDF files who created illegal videos, allegedly, and they've ducked it for years and years, and they thought getting more famous on TikTok and buying Bugattis and Koenigsegg's, all right, Pagani penthouse, they thought that was going to help them. Right? Should have stayed in Dubai. Suckers. Anyway, I'll catch you guys in the next video. I want to do another David video. I want to do like 3 more Tate videos, but I'll do my best to get around to it and keep you guys updated. But thank you everybody for supporting the coverage, the journalism, everything that I've been doing recently. I've been working very, very hard, and I hope you guys can see that my heart's in the right place. I just want to get you guys the facts and hold all of these clowns to account, whether it's David or Andrew Tate, anyone, all right? Or YG, we're going to be seeing about everybody, Lil Durk, all of them, all right? So I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching this one. I'm out for now. Peace.